The pain you're feeling right now probably isn't from what happened. It's from the fake version of reality you built before it happened. Even Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, says this is a flaw he has to actively catch himself doing. Most people aren't disappointed by reality. They are disappointed by a story about reality they made up themselves. Wishful thinking is constructing a fictional model of how things should go, then trying to force the real world to conform to that fiction instead of updating the model to match the reality. It feels like optimism or hope, but it's actually a refusal to look directly at what's true. Accurate perception first, action second. Most people do it backwards. They decide what they want to be true and then select the facts that support it. And this shows up all the time in romantic relationships. A lot of relationship pain doesn't come from what the other person actually did. It comes from the unrealistic expectation you build and never tested against reality. For example, projecting who you want someone to be instead of accurately seeing who they are, then feeling betrayed when they act like themselves. The breakup or disappointment isn't the wound. The wound is realizing the story you were living in was never real. So to actually paraphrase Elon Musk, he said exactly, one of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You cannot think wishfully and have an accurate map. And his fix for this is assume you're always wrong to some degree, and your job is to get less wrong over time, not to defend the story you like. This is useful because it shows this isn't a weakness of unintelligent people. It's a universal trap that smart, successful people still have to actively guard against. And so to have a way to avoid this, you have to always analyze the world rationally as it actually is, not as you wish it to be. Be okay with what you find, not resigned, just not at war with reality. Acceptance of what's true is what actually frees you to actually solve the problem. Then problem solve from the accurate map, not the fictional one. Good decisions can only be built on accurate inputs. And sometimes there is a bit of a brutal reality, a scary moment, where people can recognize that they have been operating on a false map for years, and that time or opportunity spent chasing the fiction may not be recoverable. This is painful, but the alternative, staying in the fiction longer, only compounds the costs. Facing it late is still better than never facing it. So you need to mentally reframe, because grieving the wasted time is better than continuing to waste more of it in denial. People deep in wishful thinking are easy to exploit by manipulators. They want to believe a comforting story, and manipulators know exactly which story to hand them. Naivety isn't innocent in this context. It's a vulnerability that gets found and used. Getting rigorous about reality isn't just self-improvement. It's also a defense mechanism against being taken advantage of. So why do we do it in the first place? Reality is sometimes something we don't feel equipped, courage or skill to face or solve. So the fiction feels safer than the work. Wishful thinking is a shortcut to a simple, comfortable answer instead of the harder, accurate one. The actual fix isn't just think positively less. It's building the courage and the competence to handle what's real, so you no longer need the fiction as a shield. So your map of reality has to come first. Build honestly, the plan, the relationship, the goal, all get built on top of it. You don't need a better story. You need a more accurate one. Everything else follows from that.